Okay, welcome everybody. So happy to be back after our week with Rebbe Nachman here 2 weeks ago. Last week we had a break because of some unfortunate circumstances, but we're back together and ready to move forward with some extra power. So we're getting close to finishing off Torah Ches 8 in Likutei Moharan. We're just approaching this part that begins to discuss tzitzis, which in the English version is on page 58, letter Ches, and in the Hebrew it starts with V'zeh b'chinas arba tzitzis. So let's do a quick review of some of the ideas in this Torah, so we get our bearings, and we'll move forward. We're going to see today this thing about tzitzis, and then the story of Rabba Bar Bar Channa, how everything comes together in the story of Rabba Bar Bar Channa. So we said the main concept of this Torah is this aspect of the Ruach Chaim that a Yid needs to always be taking into themselves. Ruach Chaim means really the life force of everything. It means all of our spiritual energy, all of the goodness that comes into the world. Everything that we need comes through this Ruach Chaim. Like we said, Hashem created the world with Ruach Chaim. Hashem created Adam Arishon with Ruach Chaim. Every moment of every day, all of our energy, all of our existence and our spiritual energy is coming from this Ruach Chaim, the breath of life from the Rebbe Nachman. And so, said Rebbe Nachman, when a Yid is experiencing difficulty and has to breathe in and krech sigh, that, with the proper kavanah, is breathing in Ruach Chaim, is breathing in the light from the Rebbe Shalom to fill in the difficulties that we have. And as we said, that we should always be trying, whenever we're experiencing difficulty, that we should always try our best. When we do inevitably end up sighing and find ourselves in these positions, we should try our best to accustom ourselves to have in mind that I'm not just sighing because I'm frustrated, because I'm in a bad mood. Rather, I need Hashem to fill me up with light. I need strength from the Rebbe Shalom. Right? I remember my mother, as a kid, whenever it would really frustrate her, she would always say, "Give me strength." Right? It's the same idea. That's what we should be thinking. We should be talking to the Rebbe Shalom and saying, sighing, and breathing in life force from Hashem. Right? That's the only place we're going to get it from. And then we said this big idea that there's also, this is, I think, probably the second most important aspect of this Torah. If I could just remind us, by the way, I've had some requests for this, that we try to keep questions and comments till the end, unless they are of utmost importance in really understanding what's happening, just for the people that follow along online. So the next thing that we said over here is that we have to understand, and this really affects everything we're going to learn ongoing in Likutei Moharan, and every aspect of our life, and every encounter that we have. And that is that just like there is a source of Kedusha in the world, and there is a Ruach Chaim that we access and we breathe in and we fill ourselves up with, there's also a Ruach on the other side. There's also a negative side in the world. And we have to be careful that we don't feed that negative side. And we have to know that the Rishayim that are in the world are receiving their life force from this negative side. They also have a Ruach Chaim. They also breathe in their energy, but it comes from the evil side. It comes from the side of Tumah, the Sitra Achra. And what did we say about that power? That it's like a Ruach Sa'ara. It's like a storm wind. And it's Gadol B'Shaitai. It's tremendously powerful in its time. So we'll find that we'll interact with people that are not great people. And yet they have tremendous power, tremendous sometimes success, tremendous strength, and it's very hard to deal with. And the Jewish nation as a whole, on a national level, has faced this. That we go up against powers that are tremendously powerful, right? In their time. Then, a little while later, they're gone. They're nothing. They're wiped out. And we're still, slow and steady wins the race, breathing in our Ruach Chaim, steadily connecting to the Rebbe Shalom and trying to do the best we can. But this was the other side that we have to remember. That there is a power to the negative side, and like Esav said, Yesh li Rav, I have a Rav. Just like we have the Torah, and the Torah is our source of Ruach Chaim. And the Ruach Chaim from the Torah is most accessed and most built up through tzaddikim, who have the biggest connection to Torah. And so we have to connect to the tzaddikim, and we have to connect to the Torah, and then through that we'll receive the most Ruach Chaim. So too said Esav, Yesh li Rav, I also have a Rav. Just like you have your tzaddik, I also have a Rav. There's also a very powerful negative force in the world, and that's where I'm getting my power from. And that's why Esav is so powerful. So boy, oh boy, we got to be careful, and we got to make sure that we know these things and we're on the right path. So then we said this aspect that all of our suffering comes from our averas also, which is an important thing to remember. No one should get upset by this. No one should feel themselves brought down by this. But the Torah says, "Ein yisurin b'lai avon." There's no such thing as suffering without some type of avera, some type of negative action leading up to it. And whenever we are living in the negative realm, whenever we're doing averas, whenever we're not doing the right thing, we are feeding the negative side. We're giving energy to the klipas, to the side of the Sitra Achra, which only gets its strength from the averas of the Bnei Israel. So we have to be extra careful.
I think the Rav said, the Torah said, in simply
Yeah.
Avera.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Great. All axioms. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we have to do. We said this idea that that we have to be very careful that we don't go in to attacking, starting up with provoking Rashayim. We have to know that we have to know where we are, know where our spot is, and know what we can come in contact with when it comes to negativity, and make sure that we don't get pulled into this realm. And we said we have to remember this for the Rabba Bar Bar Channa that's coming up, that only the greatest tzaddikim who have totally cleaned themselves out of any negative midos whatsoever, from all of the four roots of Eish, Ruach, Mayim, and Afar, right? Earth, wind, and fire. Why didn't the fourth make it into them? I don't know. Earth, wind, and fire, and water. Only once a tzaddik has totally cleansed himself of every aspect of negativity and has become a tzaddik gamur, can he then go and get involved, start dealing with Rashayim, start making tikkunim with Rashayim. Because if someone has a little bit of negativity in themselves still, a little bit of tumah in themselves, then when they go and interact with the Rashayim, then the evil, the negativity from that person has something to grab a hold of, and can wake up that ra that's inside that person and pull them down through it. So we have to know. We've talked about this in all the last shiurim, but I think that's basically enough for us to move on from this point. Is everybody with me on that? Ready to roll? Okay. So we're now going to look at Ois Ches over here, in the page 58 in the English. So this is also an aspect of the four tzitzis, the four fringes that we have on the corner of the four-cornered garment. Because the four tzitzis are also an aspect of this Ruach Chaim, this spiritual life force. Like the pasuk says in Yechezkel, Koyamar Hashem me'arba ruchos boi haruach. So Hashem said, from the four directions, from the four comes the ruach. It's through this that we are machnia, that we subdue and humble down the ruach sa'ara, the storm wind of evil. Shu haruach shel hamisnagdim hachokim al tzadikim amitiyim. This is the ruach. This is the power of the negative forces that go up against and fight against the true tzaddikim. Ve'elu shemamshichin arichas haruach shelehem meharav deklipa, and these people that draw down their ruach, their power, their force from the rav deklipa, from that powerful negative spiritual force on the other side of klipa. Shu b'chinas Esav ish sa'ir, that he is this aspect of Esav, who is the person of Sa'ir, but really it also means hair. Sa'ir is a place, and it's also Se'ar is hair, right? So those two things are connected to Esav. Why is Esav connected to hair? Valkain tzitzis hu lashon se'ar. That explains why there's a connection over here. That tzitzis are a lashon of se'ar, are the same wording that is used to describe hair in a certain sense. Kamesha Kasov, like the pasuk says back there in Yecheskel, Vayikacheni betzitzis roshi, and he grabbed me by the tzitzis of my head, meaning the hair strings of my head, right? Hair, just like look at them. You have these stringy things over here, similar to a hair. Tzitzis means in a certain sense. We talked in a different Torah about the root of the word tzitzis, but one of the aspects is that it's strings, and in the same way that hair is like strings.
Tzitz is a small plant.
Right, a sprout. Ki al yadam nichna Esav ish sa'ir. Why? So why are they connected? Why are tzitzis the same as hair? What's the connection? They're really. We're seeing that the tzitzis are like the opposite of Esav. Esav is string hair, and tzitzis are string hair. Just like Esav has this power of evil, tzitzis have the power of kedusha in that same realm. So the tzitzis are one aspect of breaking down the evil side, the negative side. So, men, make sure your tzitzis are on nicely, and ladies, make sure that your boys are all really strong in the mitzvah of tzitzis. Very powerful. Nichna Esav ish sa'ir b'chinas ruach sara. V'zeh b'chinas talis lavan shenis atef. Okay, so now we're going to see something awesome. Zeh b'chinas talis lavan shenis atef HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'sidar shloish esrei midos. So Chazal say in the Gemara Rosh Hashanah that Hashem wraps himself in a white talis and gives us rachamim through the shloish esrei midos rachamim, through the 13 attributes of mercy. Right? Hashem wraps himself in a white talis and then gives us, rains down to us, sends us this shefa, this flow, this bounty of mercy in that realm. Why does he have to wear this white talis? How does it all connect? My talis is white. Just has a little black stripe, that's all. Because what are we talking about when we're talking about this Ruach Chaim de Kedusha? What does it mean that we're breathing in Ruach Chaim, this powerful force that Hashem uses for creation? And when we're lacking something, when we're having a difficulty, the Ruach Chaim is what fills us up and gives us the energy that we need. What does that mean? That's Rachamim from Hashem. The Shlosh Esrei Midas of Rachamim are the 13 midas of mercy that Hashem's giving us are this Ruach Chaim. That's what it is. Zeh b'chinas talis, and that's why it's a talis. Shu arba kanfois, which is 4 corners. B'chinas haruach me'arba ruchois, which is the ruach coming from each one of these 4 directions, these 4 aspects. V'hainu talis lavan, and that's why it's a talis lavan, a white talis also. Hefech b'chinas ruach de klipa, the opposite of the ruach of klipa. B'chinas Esav. What color is Esav, everybody? Red. Esav is red. Shehu admoini kula ka'ader se'ar. That Esav was totally red, like a red furry coat. Upeiros Rashi, katalis daika. Right. So, in other words, like this. I love it when Rebbe Nachman does this. So the pasuk says in Bereshis that Esav is admoini kuloi ka'ader se'ar. He's red completely, like a hairy coat. How does Rashi explain? What does Rashi explain? The word kader seyar. He says katalis, like a talis. Says Rebbe Nachman, katalis daika, but specifically a talis. He didn't have to see. He could have said like katoinis or whatever, some kind of beged, me'il or something, right? But he said talis, the word talis specifically. Bechinas talis de klipa. This is like the talis of the other negative side, right? Just like Hashem puts on the white talis and showers us down with the shlosh esrei midas of rachamim, gives us this tremendous flow of mercy. So too on the other side, there's a red, yucky talis that brings negativity and evil into the world, right? It's for sure yucky also, I'm just saying. Not only red, it's probably dirty. Okay. making all that up. Ketalis, talis daika, bechinas talis de klipa, shu bechinas talis edoim. It's a red beged. Shemisham nimshach haruach shel rashayim. That's where the rashayim. That's where the evil people receive their power from. Vayidei talis de kedusha, shu bechinas talis lavan, and through the talis of kedusha, which is the talis lavan, the white talis. Machni moisai, we subdue and forcibly humble down. How's that? The negative side, this talus of klipa, and the negative side. Kimisham nimshach ruach chaim de kedusha, because that Kadosh Baruch Hu and the white talus and the shlosh midos, that is the ruach chaim of kedusha, of the holy side. It's the 13 attributes of mercy. That's why it is that Hashem puts on specifically a white talus. And then he gave over Moshe Rabbeinu the 13 attributes of mercy. Because it's through talus de kedusha. Why? Why is it the talus de kedusha? Because it's the four corners, the arba ruchos. When we want to say the four directions, what do we call it? Arba ruchos, ruchos. Right? They're called the four winds, the four directions. And it's this ruach chaim that's coming from that is good, that Hashem is giving to us. That's why Hashem has to put on a talus. Why did it have to be that way? Why didn't the Medrash just say, Hashem stood in front of Moshe in a techelis colored vest, I don't know, right? And gave over the 13 attributes of mercy. No. Hashem wrapped himself in a white talus with arba ruchos, and then gave over the 13 attributes of mercy. You hear? It's all this aspect of ruach that's going into this equation. Because it's through the talus of kedusha, which is an aspect of makif, which surrounds. Which is this ruach chaim we've been talking about. From this, the pasuk says in Koheles, it's from being totally surrounded that the ruach goes. Meaning that's why Hashem wraps himself completely, is makif himself in this talus, and then the ruach comes out. Nichna talus the klipa, and that subdues the talus of klipa of the other side. Bechinas haruach de klipa. V'zehu lechois bekanafos haaretz ve'yanaru rashayim imenu. Pasuk says in the Eov, very exciting pasuk, that Hashem, it says about to take hold of the four corners of the earth and to shake off the rashayim, the evil people, from it. What does that mean? Why do you have to take hold of the four corners of the earth and shake off the rashayim? Once again, Ki al yedei arba kanafos. It's through four corners that this has to happen. Shehem mechinas ruach chaim de kedusha. That's the ruach chaim of kedusha, the four corners. Shehem mechinas arba rashim, which is also this aspect of the four rashim, the four heads of the river that comes from Gan Eden that gives sustenance to the world. Also, al yadam v'yanaru rashayim. It's through this that the rashayim are going to be shaken off the world. Bechinas mashpil rashayim ade aretz, which is this aspect that we said, that the pasuk says mashpil rashayim ade aretz, that Hashem is going to subdue the rashayim from the whole world, which is Rashi Tevus Eish Ruach Mayim Afar, as we said before, the same four letters that begins Mashpil Rashayim Adi Aretz, Mem Resh Ayin Aleph, are the same letters that make Eish Ruach Mayim and Afar, the four elements. So I thought, by the way, this is something that I just thought about. I'm not sure exactly how what it has to do over here, but I think it's connected. That there's another pasuk, I can't remember exactly. It might also be from the same place, where we see that in times of Mashiach, I think it's from Yeshaya, that the goyim in the world are going to be, I think it says 1,000 goyim are going to grab on to the corner of a Jew's garment, the corner of our garment, and say, we see that Hashem is with you, and we want you to take us with you. Right? Once again, they're going to be grabbing on, just like it's saying, the Rashayim will be shaken off of the earth from the four corners. So too, we're going to see soon, Bezras Hashem, that they're going to grab onto the corners. Why the corner of the garments? right? There's pshat ideas. It's the tzitzis represent mitzvahs, right? But also, this is the Ruach Chaim. They're going to be grabbing and holding. We want the Ruach Chaim that you have. We want this, right? That part I made up. So yeah. If anyone disagrees, just give me a call. It's okay. All right. Okay. So that's basically the end of all of the concepts that Rebbe Nachman wanted to bring in before we see how it all fits into this story from the Gemara of Rabba Bar Bar Channa. Rabba Bar Bar Channa. And once again, for those of you who haven't been around for any of these stories so far, this is the 8th one. These are these totally amazing, wild stories that seem to be absolutely impossible to make heads or tails of. And Rebbe Nachman explains them. The whole Torah that he said over here is based on this story. And we're going to see how every aspect of this story connects to all the concepts that Rebbe Nachman gave us over here. And we'll remember that the Rebbe Nachman said that Rabba Bar Bar Channa came to him in a dream and said to him, "Why have you not explained my stories?" There's 15 stories in the Gemara and Bava Basra that are so out of this world, strange, and there's very hard to explain them. And Rabba Bar Bar Channa came to Rebbe Nachman and said, "Why have you not explained my stories yet? You need to start explaining my stories and I will help you," he said to him. And so the first 15 Torahs in the Likutei Moharan are all these stories from the Gemara of Rabba Bar Bar Channa. So we're about to see now how everything we just saw in this one is going to fit into this story. Everybody ready? Fasten your seatbelts. Okay. V'zeh perish. And this is the explanation of Amar Rabba Bar Bar Channa. Rabba Bar Bar Channa said, Amar li'ahu taya. So the certain Arab merchant said to me, Ta va'ach velach meisei midbar. Come with me and I will show you those who died in the midbar. Meaning, in the simple understanding, that from the generation of the Dor Deah, the generation who were wandering in the desert right after Kabbalas Torah, who had to die after the Chet with the Meraglim. Come and I'll show you them. So let's look at the Rashbam at the same time over here. So he says Taya is a Soicher Yishmaeli, a Arab merchant. So he says Azli so we'll see now. Okay, Azli v'chazisenhu. So he went along and they showed him v'damu kaman de mevasmai, and they looked like people that were drunk. I believe, yeah, they looked like they were drunk. The dead people lying in the midbar. So the Rashbam explains, they were lying there they were red-faced, like people who drank a lot of wine. That's what it means that they looked like they were drunk. Veganu aparkid, and they were lying aparkid, says the Rashbam, Panehem Lamaila, I think he's going to say Lamaila. They were lying with their faces upwards. They were lying on their back, faces upward, red-faced. V'hava Zakifa Birkei Dechad Menayu, and one of them, the knee was up. One of them had their knee up, meaning like if someone was lying flat down and their knee was up, right? Their foot was on the ground and their knee was up, like this. Everybody understands, I'm sure. Very simple. The ayol Taya, Tuse Birke. And so this Arab merchant went underneath this knee. This was a giant body. The Arab merchant went under the knee. Ki rachiv gamla v'zakifa ruchme v'loy nagabe. As he was riding on his camel and holding a spear in his hand that was going straight up, and still, even though he was on top of a camel holding a spear going straight up, under the knee of this body, it didn't reach the top of the knee. So big was this body and this knee. Okay. Paske hada karna de techilta. He cut off one of the corners of the techelis, of the tzitzis, of one of these Meisei Midbar. Techad minayu v'loy have a mistagib lan. And he cut off one of them, and then all of a sudden they weren't able to move anymore. It's like they were glued to the ground. They weren't able to move anymore. So let's just see what the Rashbam said over here. That the Arab merchant came and went under the knee of this body, Kleimar, meaning to say, I saw that this Arab merchant was going underneath the knee of this dead body, Rochav al Gamal with riding on his donkey and the spear in his hand. And he didn't. The spear did not reach the knee. He cut off one of the corners. Kanaf talis. Why did he do it? He cut off. The way the sugya goes in the Gemara, this is supposed to be a proof that he cut off one of the corners of the talis to show to the wise people, the wise men, the sages who are arguing, din tzitzis, to learn from it the proper din of how to make tzitzis properly. So in other words, there was a machlekes in the Beis Medrash. What's the proper way to make the tzitzis? Is it like the way of Beis Shammai or is it like the way of Beis Hillel? So Rabba Bar Bar Channa said they were going to take one of these tzitzis from one of these people who was with Moshe Rabbeinu.
One of the corners.
One of the corners. From who was with Moshe Rabbeinu in the desert. And if they were wearing the tzitzis that Moshe Rabbeinu saw, that's the way to do it. No question, right? So they would take that and then they'd know the right way. It's really kind of inconsequential here a little bit, but we'll see. And then they weren't able to move. The animals that they were riding on weren't able to move. They weren't able to move. Amarli. So the merchant said to him, Dilma shakalt mide minayu. Maybe you took something from one of them. The Gemiri, man shakel mide minayu loy mistagilon. Because we have learned that anyone who takes something from one of these people will not be able to move. Azli achadarte, I went and returned it. V'hadar mistagilon, and then we were able to move again. And that is the end of the story. It's a good one, right? Okay, so let's see now. Maybe you already figured out exactly how everything we talked about is going to fit into the story. But let's see. So let's see how Rebbe Nachman explains it. Come with me and I will show you the Meisei Midbar, those who died in the desert. So remember, the simple understanding is the generation that was with Moshe Rabbeinu in the desert. But we're now going to see, on a different level, it's talking about something completely different. He showed to them the evil people, Rashayim, that are not attached to tzaddikim. V'heim nikrayim, why? They are called dead people of the desert. Why? Because in the midbar, the ruach tzafoinus, the north wind, does not blow there. What does that mean? Hainu bechinas ruach chaim de kedusha, which is the ruach chaim of kedusha. They are not. Why is it in the desert? Because the ruach chaim of kedusha is not in the desert. The desert is a desolate place, just like in the physical world. The desert is a place where there's no life and no growth, and we don't want to be there, right? It's void of life and existence. So too in the spiritual world, it's talking about a place where there's lacking life, lacking ruach chaim. Which is an aspect of this of the north wind that blew through the harp of King David. Everybody knows the famous Gemara in Brachas that David HaMelech, he hung a harp in his tent when he was out in the mountains, and right at Chatzos time, midnight, the north wind would begin to blow, and it would go through his harp and sing a song, and that would wake him up, and he would be able to begin his special service of learning and tefillas, of talking to Hashem, from that point onward to the rest of the day. And he is a tzaddik. The Rashayim halalu, and these Rashayim that we're talking about over here, she'enam devekim b'tzadikim, that are not connected to tzadikim, ve'en lehem haruach de kedusha, and they don't have the ruach de kedusha, they don't have the ruachayim. Ve'hem b'chayehem kuruyim mesim, and they in their lifetimes are called mesim. Why? The Gemara says, Rashayim b'chayehem kuruyim mesim, that Rashayim, evil people, even during their life, they're called mesim, they're called dead people. And the opposite, tzadikim, afilu achar meisehem, even after they're dead, karuim chayim, they are called alive, living, right? So meisei midbar, we're talking about those who are rashayim. They're the walking dead. They're living in a world that's absolutely nothing, no life, no goodness, no nothing. They're walking dead, and they're in the midbar, totally void of ruach chayim. And that's what we're talking about over here. And he showed to them where are they able to get, where do they get the fulfillment of those things that they're lacking. And this is what he showed it to them. I just want us all to think about a second this aspect that we saw over here, that we said over here, that Rashayim b'chayehem kuruyim mesim, that evil people, even during their lives, they're called mesim, they're called dead, right? So I feel like it's so powerful in the current existence that we have in our society, in everything that's going on, right? I feel like there are so many walking dead out there, and we have to be careful that we don't become part of it, right? But just imagine, I know I talk about this a lot, but it's really true. And everyone's joking about it in the world because it's so serious that, the phones that we have, we can be sucked so far into them that you can have people sitting around a table together and they're just looking at their phones and not talking to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like why are we connecting? What's going on? We can get pulled so easily into these things that we're not alive. What are we doing? We're walking through the world, like not even seeing where we're going, and we're in this realm of falsehood. You could walk by and you could be looking at trees, right? You could be seeing another person and smiling at them and have them smile back. You could be bringing Kedusha to one another. You could be talking to people, but what do we see is happening? Mamish zombies, right? I know I have to be careful of this. I had to make sure that I had on my phone a filter and all these things to keep me from not getting sucked in, because it's so easy. It's without negative intent. Just the things are set up so that we just get shown one thing and then another thing and then another thing, and it keeps going and going and going, and your whole day could be shot. Your whole life could be sucked into it. The Walking Dead, zombies, right? I feel it's something very powerful that we should all think about very, very strongly. Anyone disagree with me? Just out of curiosity, yeah. Right. So if they already spend an hour looking at this, I don't think they're gonna get sucked into negativity. I hope. Yeah, it's a good point.
Nothing beats learning life. The energy.
Yeah, I think so. But at the same time, it's a good point that you're bringing up. That and it's really exactly what we're talking about here, and that is that you have this tremendous pull of the good and the evil, and wherever you have the good, you're going to have the evil. They are always going to balance. So you're going to see that, we have the ability, Be'ezus Hashem soon. Ava and I together have made this connection that we're going to be doing a 10-minute weekly class for Breslov.co.il for Rav Arush's website, a 10-minute weekly class in Likutei Moharan. And, the classes that we put online, they get to all these people that we don't expect. Like, come out of the woodwork. Like, I never would connect with. And they listen to Rebbe Nachman. And it's amazing. Totally amazing. And, people tell me amazing things that happen to them from learning Rebbe Nachman. So we have, on the one hand, this tremendous opportunity, but on the other hand, that same place where the opportunity is can really pull down in a negative way. So, yes, for sure. So our job is, we have to try to the best of our ability to make sure that we're not the Walking Dead, that we are always trying to be alive and always trying to breathe in Ruach Hayim and to bring the goodness into us, because it's not easy. Okay, anyway, that's the first point. They looked like they were drunk. What does this mean? So the Rashbam said, they looked like those who were drinking wine. What does that mean? Why are we why is this standing out at us right now? Red-faced? Because that's the red Esav. That's why they're the Walking Dead. That's why they're Rishayim, that they're not connected. Because they are connecting to the evil side of Esav Admaini. Shuharav de Klipa, which is the powerful spiritual force of the negative side. Asher Misham Makablin HaRashayim HaRuach Chaim Shalem. That's where they get all their power from. All the Ruach Chaim. Shalem Lahashlim Chisroinam, to fill in that which they think they're lacking. Vaganu Aparkid, and they were lying down with their faces up. Perish Rabbeinu Shmuel, Panehem Lamala, that their faces were looking up. We have to focus on this word faces. Why their faces are looking up. Panehem, Ze Bechinas HaRuach. So Panehem, the faces also refers to Ruach. How do we see this? It's a pasuk that says, Hachres Panehem Ke. What's the rest of the pasuk? Hachres Panehem. A second. Does he say the whole pasuk here? So, the pasuk, the rest of the pasuk says hachres panehem. That means from the word like hakaras, meaning the expression on their face bears witness against them. Meaning what? V'hainu lamala ki haruach shalehem gadol lefi shah. That means above, because the ruach shalehem, their ruach is gadol lefi shah, is very powerful in its time. Ad asher oila hatzlachosam lamayla, till their hatzlacha goes very, 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 very high. Bechinas kol tzerarav yafiach behem. In this aspect of all of their enemies, they blow them down. So meaning what? The panehem, the face, we see in other psukim that the face is directly related to the nose. That the Mefarshim bring down, where it says the expression on their face was bared witness to what they were really saying. What the Mefarshim say over there is that it's referring to the nose. That somehow the nose of the person was able to give them away what they were really thinking. Whatever was going on inside was able to come out through the person's nose. What's nose by us? Nose is ruach. That's where we breathe in from. Nose is Ruach Hayim. So it's saying that why were they so, where did these evil people get their power from? And why were they so successful? Their faces were upward, meaning their faces, meaning nose, that their nose was up. They were getting that Ruach in, and through that they were able to have tremendous Hatzlacha. Face means nose, means Ruach. You with me? And the knee of one of them was standing up high. What does that mean? It's talking about the tremendous success that these evil people can have in their time. Because a lack of success is called, in the Sefer Yeshaya, birkayim koishlois, meaning, I guess, like weak knees. That refers to, that's what, when Yeshaya is talking about the downfall and the lack of hatzlacha, he says, birkayim koishlois, weak, their knees were weak. The opposite of a lack of hatzlacha is when the knees are up. This fact that the knee of this Russia was up high and was so high is referring to the tremendous hatzlacha, tremendous success that this Russia could have. The Gava Birke, he raised up his knee. That means his knee is not weak. That means he has tremendous power. Hainu, rum hatzlacha, the high levels of hatzlacha, of success. Va'ayel taya tuse birke, and this Arab merchant went under the leg, the knee of this Russia. Hainu hatzadik shenikra taya. We're talking about here the tzaddik who is called a taya. Taya is a nickname for the tzaddik. Like the Rashbam says, every place that we have this story about Hahutaya, there was an Arab merchant, Seicher Yishmael. That means an Arab merchant. V'Seicher hu bechinas haruach. Seicher, the merchant, is also connected to this concept of ruach. How do we see such a thing? Like the pasuk says, which we said already, Soivev, soivev, hoylech haruach. Around and around goes the wind. Soivev, around goes the wind, the ruach. And is he going to say here? Yeah, hainu hatzadik shemakabel haruach mikadusha. In Aramaic, seicher also means sechor also means to go around and around. Just like the ruach goes around and around, so too the ruach of the tzaddik goes around and around. Sechor is like soivev. So if you look at this pasuk, soivev hoylech haruach, you can translate the Aramaic words soivev to sechor. So the Soicher Yishmaeli, Soicher is tzaddik, who has tremendous Ruach Chaim. V'zeh Soicher Yishmaeli, al Shem, ki shama Hashem el anyech. And this is what it means. Why is he called a Soicher Yishmaeli? The Soicher meaning tzaddik, and Yishmael. What does Yishmael have to do with it? Ki shama Hashem el anyech. Because why did Yishmael get his name Yishmael? It means Yishma, Rishama, Hashem heard, like Shema Yisrael, heard his outcry. Yishma, El, Kel, Hashem, Yishma, heard what his outcry was. Ki tzaddik shemea kol anachos shel hadvekim bo, because the tzaddik hears all of the outcries of those who are connected to him. Anyone who connects to a tzaddik in such a strong way, when that person really attaches themselves to such a tzaddik, there is an intimate soul neshama connection. And now when a person has pain, and he's crying out in that pain, the tzaddik feels that pain. The tzaddik has that connection and is able to hear those cries. Because from that tzaddik comes out the Ruach Chaim to all of those who are connected to him. Ki hu ish asher ruach boy. Because the Torah calls the tzaddik ish asher ruach boy. There's two places it says this. When Moshe Rabbeinu has to hand over the leadership to Yoshua, he says, Hashem tells him, you have to find an ish asher ruach boy. Ish asher ruach boy. What's the one thing the Torah says you have to find in the person to replace you? Someone who has ruach. It's the only thing it says. And so too by Yosef HaTzadik, there's a mention of ruach over there also, that Yosef HaTzadik had the same ruach. So this aspect of the tzaddik having ruach, ish asher ruach boy, and the way that we explained it, that the tzaddik is the biggest receptacle of ruach in the world, of ruach chaim in the world. So he is the one who's able to channel that and give it over to those who are connected to him. And someone who's connected to a tzaddik is able to receive from them. And I want to just say one more time, because I know many people hear these words and they say, what are you talking about? That does not sound like our religion. That the stuff comes from Hashem through a tzaddik to us. It doesn't sound right. It can scare some people. I want to point out that we've said many, many, many times, brought many examples, and specifically from the Zohar HaKadosh. It said very clearly that we saw in Parshas Pekudei that the tzaddik is standing in the pipe, in the tzinor, and everything that comes into the world comes through that pipe and through that tzaddik. Our deep Torah talks about this all the time. We have nothing to be afraid of just because other people have taken it on in a negative way, right? This is very, very strong in the deeper Torah, in the Kabbalah, in the Zohar HaKadosh. The Tzaddik Yesod Olam is called the foundation of the world because he stands there in the pipe where everything comes into the world. And everyone who's connected to a tzaddik is connected closer to that pipe. And everything that's going to come to us is going to come through such a tzaddik. It's very, very clear. So don't be scared. Okay. Everybody with me? Ki rachiv gamla. Okay. So the what's it called? The Rishayim were tremendously successful. That's why the knee was up. And the Taya, the Arab merchant who went under the knee, that's the tzaddik. Ki rachiv gamla, and he was riding the camel. Bechinas goimel nafshay ish chesed. Ze bechinas rav chesed. So like the pasuk says in Mishlei, goimel nafshay, he who does good to his soul, ish chesed, the man of kindness. This is talking about the Rav Chesed, meaning the powerful force of goodness in the world, meaning such a tzaddik is connected to the source of Ruach Chaim in the world. Rachiv Gamla. Gamla, the word for camel is Gamla, is like the word for Gemilas Chasadim, Goimel Chesed. Uzakiv Ruchma, and his spear was standing straight up. Roimach, hu bechinas Ruach Mem. Roimach. So the word Roimach is the word for a spear. And it's really, so I got to tell you something very awesome. I heard this from Rebbe Nachman. So everybody knows the story of Pinchas, right? In the Torah. So it says, Roimach beyadai, he had a spear in his hand. So just for those who don't know the story so clearly, Pinchas came and had tremendous kanayas, zealotry for the honor of Hashem. And he saw what was going on there with Cosby and Zimri. right? And they were in an unholy, theoretically, union, and there was a plague, all this negativity was coming, and Pinchas took his spear and executed them, and eventually stopped the plague from happening, and Pinchas was a tremendously powerful character over here. Yeah. But it says he had this roimach b'yadai. I don't know if this word is ever used anywhere else in the Torah. I don't think so. Roimach. Roimach means spear, right? So one of the things, I think it says this in the Zohar over there, that Pinchas saw there was a mem in the world, and the mem was maves, death. There was this tremendous power of death in the world at that time. There was a mem. And so what did he do? He took up his roimach, which in a deeper sense means he brought ruach. He brought the ruach hayim of kedusha into the situation to counter this death. And when you take ruach, which is reish and ches, and you surround mem, which is maves, with it, you surround the death with the ruach, you now have reish mem ches, which is roimach, which is the word for spear, which I think is the only time it's used in the Chumash. Roimach, I think so.
Yeah, this is
even if not, it's still.
This is I don't come to be tameh. He's a priest.
Oh, right? Because of the.
The Romach, one drop, white blood of him.
Right.
So
Yeah. A big spear. So too over here, we're saying like this. That's one of the amazing natures of this word roimach, right? But here we're saying it in it's actually the same way, but slightly different, and totally in the same pattern as this whole Torah. It says like this: Zakif rumcha. His roimach, his spear was standing straight up. Roimach hu bechinas ruach mem. So in that word roimach, you have ruach, reish and ches, and then you have mem. What's mem? Bechinas ruach elokim merachefes al penei hamayim, which is an aspect of the ruach elokim merachefes al penei hamayim. In the beginning of Bereshis, it says that the breath of Hashem, the ruach of Hashem of Elokim, was hovering over the surface of the mayim, of the water. Haynu haTorah, and we say ein mayim el haTorah, right? Meaning that the ruach was hovering over the Torah. The ruach, and we said that the ruach comes from the Torah, right? Haynu haTorah. Shenitna lemem yaim. There's a special connection to the Torah and the number 40, because the Torah was given specifically in 40 days, and that's why Sheshama Ruach Chaim. The Torah is very strong with this aspect of 40 days. The Torah, in a sense, is an aspect of 40, right? So the Ruach Mem over here is having Ruach and the mem of the Torah, bringing that ruach through the Torah. This is what the tzaddik was going with, was the ruach mem. Hainu at-Torah shesham ruach hayim. Kloimar shatzadik hayaloi bechinas haruach shemakabel me'at-Torah. He had the ruach. What made him the tzaddik? He had the ruach that he received from the Torah. Ruach mem, the ruach from the Torah. That's what he is holding. This is what the tzaddik is doing everything with the ruach from the Torah. Ruach mem, roimach, spear. That's the spiritual spear. Avim kol zeh nachis tachos birke. And even so, even with this, he was not able to go under the knee of this Russia. Tachas tzachas Russia. He couldn't break through the success of this Russia. Bechinas kabbalah Russia tzaddikim, as we said earlier in the Torah, that a Russia is able to swallow up someone who's a little bit more tzaddik than him. Meaning he's not a perfect, complete tzaddik yet. This person, he's at a certain level. So he broke off one of the corners of the techelis of one of these people. Meaning what? I'm going to try to go through this fast. He cut off, remember those four corners of the four tzitzis represent the four ruchos, which represent the four negative midas, the opposite of the four negative character traits. So he broke off and destroyed, got rid of one of those negative character traits. He became perfect in one of those things. Let's give an example that it was kas, anger. Just an example. And that was what that one Russia's power was. He got his power from the negative attribute of kas, of anger. So this tzaddik was able to perfect himself in the realm of anger, so he had no bit of anger within him whatsoever. Right? He didn't even have one aspect of that at all. This is what it means. He broke off one of the corners of the tcheles. He broke off one of their tzitzis. He killed and destroyed that bad midah that one of them had within himself. Which is where their pipe comes from, their power comes from. Because all of those bad midas come from one of these four foundations, arba tzitzis. One of these four corners, arba tzitzis, four tzitzis. V'loi mistagilon, but he wasn't able to move. He weren't able to move. Kleimar shafal pikein. Even though he destroyed that one bad midah, loy also loy. It didn't help him. Lahashpil as a rasha. Let's say mitachas birchav, to be able to destroy that rasha and to get out from under his knees from his success. Afal pisha pasak v'shibra amida ra shal rasha nimshachas me'arba yisodesh shayim arba tzitzis. Even though he totally fixed up, got rid of that bad midah completely within himself, that one midah that rasha had. Zehu b'chinas v'ka paske karna d'chilta d'chad minayo. And that's what it means when it says that he broke off one of the tzitzis of one of them, one of the bad midas of one of them. He was able to totally nullify. Afal pikein, but even still, he wasn't able to knock that rasha down. And to get out from underneath his knees, underneath his success. That he couldn't move anymore. They couldn't get out from there. Amarli. So therefore, the other guy said to him, Dilma shakilta midi minayu. Maybe you took something from him. Oh, hainu. Maybe you still have one of the other four foundation negative midas within you. Maybe you're not perfect yet. Maybe you have some evil in you still, and you're not able to overcome this rasha because of that. Shaloi tekanta, you didn't fix b'shleimus completely. To totally rid yourself of evil completely. Valkein loy mistagilon. Therefore, it's not going to help you. You're not going to be able to get out of this. Like we said earlier on in this Torah, that if a person, even a tzaddik, has any little bit of evil left in him from any one of those four categories of negativity, of evil, he's not going to be able to do it. Then he's not going to be able to break this rasha. Remember, the rasha is powerful, has a ruach sa'ara, very powerful in his time. And if a person is not a tzaddik gamur, completely free of all negative midos, he's not going to be able to fight. V'zehu dilma shaklas midei mineiha, and this is what it means. Maybe you took something from him. Shema lakachta ketzas meha. Maybe you got something from him. Unfortunately, maybe you still have some of their stuff in you. You have something from them within you still. You still have some evil. You have some kind of bad midah or taiva or desire, some negativity within you. And therefore you're not going to be able to be successful. You're not going to be able to get out of here. Therefore we can't get out of here. The Gemiri, we're almost done for this part. Because we have learned that anyone who takes something from them is not going to be able to move. It's amazing how the story is so different after you have this idea plugged into it. Hainu kanal, this is what we're saying. Sheyesh lanu Kabbalah. We have an understanding, a tradition. Shekol mi shelakech latzmu eze davar taiva midara shel rishayim. Anyone who takes within them any kind of bad midah or bad taiva, bad desire or bad character trait from rishayim. You have still some of that ra within you. You're not going to be able to get away from these Rashayim or to subdue them. It's not going to happen. Azle ahadarte. So I went and returned it to them. I gave it back to them. He gave back the corner that he cut off. Hainu shechazarti mashaya etzli eze me'ad achizas hara. I gave back to them that little bit of ra that I still had within me, that little bit of evil that I had within me, mehamidas rashalem, from their bad midas. Hechazarti ve'ifrashti mimeni. I gave back to them, and I separated it from myself completely. V'hadar mistagilan, and then I went back and was able to move again. Sha'az also biyadena latzes mitachas birkov lachnir lashbila. Then we were able to get out from underneath them and to knock them down, as we explained earlier in the Torah. Shetzadik gamor a complete, total tzaddik, shemafrish me'atzmai kol achizas harash alehem legamrei, that has totally removed from himself any little bit of evil within him, of any one of those 4 types of bad midas or desires or negativities. Hu yachal latzeis mehem. He's the one who's able to get away from them, lahachniam, to subdue them, ulashpilam, to knock them down. Bebechinas mashpil rashayim ade aretz. In this aspect that we said, that he knocks down the rashayim down to the ground. That is the end of the story of Rabba Bar Bar Channa. And we can see how, in a very, very amazing, beautiful way, everything that Rebbe Nachman talked about comes out in this story in a totally fantastic way. The next thing that's going to happen, what we're going to do next week, I think we'll be able to, Be'ezus Hashem, finish off the Torah next week, maybe 2 weeks, is Rebbe Nachman is going to take now a portion from the Haftarah that is said during Hanukkah and show how from this, the part of this Haftarah from Hanukkah, just like we took the story of Rabba Bar Channa and saw how every aspect of this Torah of Rebbe Nachman was hinted to within this story, we're going to see how, once again, every aspect of this whole amazing spiritual pathway is hinted to within these psukim in the Haftarah for Hanukkah. So, Be'ezus Hashem, we should make sure that we continue to think about this. Continue to think about that we don't want to be the Walking Dead. We don't want to be zombies in the world. We want to be, a zombie is someone who is sucked into Olam Hazeh, and when something difficult happens, they get frustrated and angry, like there's no Hashem in the world, like it's just all up to me, and everything that happens is either my fault or someone else's fault. Walking Dead, mamash a zombie. We want to be people who are living, breathing in Ruach Hayim. When we see other people, we realize that Hashem is putting us together. I'm meeting another person for a specific reason, and we have something to give to each other. And if someone makes me angry, I don't get angry at them. I say, thank you, Hashem, for giving me a message. I certainly can't get angry at them when I know the message is from Hashem, right? And when I live through my life in this way, when I get frustrated, I don't just blame it on the world or other people or even myself. Rather, I breathe in the Ruach Hayim from Hashem, and I say, Hashem, I need help. I need you to fill in those things that I'm lacking. I'm missing some stuff, and I need your help. That's what a Yiddish Krechts is. That's what it means. That's the difference between a zombie sighing and a Jew sighing. Right? We should take this to heart. This is life-changing material if we put it into practice. So let's try Be'ezus Hashem this week. Hopefully we won't have to sigh, but I think it's possible that some of us might. And if we do, let's do it in the right way and bring Kedusha into ourselves. Any questions?